Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Beav Brody, and today we're gonna check out the new Starlink for RV. We're gonna find out if it is a reliable source of internet. We're gonna check out download speeds, upload speeds, and I've been having a weird issue. I just put some cameras in the camper to monitor the dog while we're gone, and I connect it to my Winegard access point, and the Wi-Fi that we're on here at this RV park won't allow the camera to connect through their system. They have like a firewall or something in place. So I haven't been able to use that camera and monitor the dog. I don't know how common that is, but we're gonna see if we can eliminate that problem with the Starlink. So anyways, let's just get right into it. I don't wanna waste a bunch of your time with long stories and dumb details that maybe don't matter. I imagine you just wanna know how easy it is to set up, what those speeds are like, and is it worth buying? Packaging, don't need that. Don't need that. Okay, we got the base. Cool. I do like that it has holes here. I've heard people talking about mounting these to the roof of their RV. And I was wondering about that because I didn't know if these feet were gonna be something that might be cause for concern, that might rub a hole in the rubber membrane on the roof and cause you a water leak. That would be bad. Here's the satellite itself. Man, this is cool. The base and this have a little bit of weight to it, so I wouldn't be overly concerned that the wind is gonna knock it over. We'll keep that. It's got some instructions on it. This is just gonna slide right in. It's keyed, it's got a little keyway, so this thing can't rotate on the base more than just that little bit that you see here. But I do know that it's motorized and it'll find itself. Oh, this is slick looking. So this is the modem itself. Cool. Power cable and a super long, looks like a mini HDMI cable is what it looks like. It's got some weather sealing on it, so that's great. I guess we can just hook this thing up now. Let's see what the instructions say. Doesn't get much easier than that. I need an extension cord. Actually, you know what we should do? We should test this on a battery bank. Like, I've got an let me go grab it. Hang on one second. Let's see how off-grid internet we can, that even like makes sense, off-grid internet. Anyways, let's see if we can power it off of this, because if you're in the overland genre, which I very much am a part of, obviously, if you guys have seen some of these other videos. So let's use this for power. Let's plug this in here. Oh, even this power is weather sealed. That's nice. That's nice. Let's plug this guy in. Man, these plug in really nice underneath and then route through that little channel. We'll set that here. Now it says to open the app and to connect to it. Starlink. Start setup. Everything's plugged in. We got to connect to this. Oh. That's cool. So while I'm waiting for this to set up, this thing pulls a pretty good amount of power. It's 65 watts. So off of this battery thing, which is a 500 watt battery bank, it's saying it has 8 hours. It takes some power. Okay, that's all set up. It's booting up. It told me to scan the sky and ask for access to my camera, scan the sky for obstacles. I got a bunch of trees here. I got the awning there. I believe this thing needs to point north, which I know is that way. So we might have to move this out to the front. Yeah, told me to find a better spot. Let's relocate. Let's find a better, clear, open spot and see how this connects and what it's gonna do. Okay, so move this over here. Try a new location. Man, still wants me to find a better spot. All right, let's take it out here to the grass, see what happens. Jeez. So this thing's telling me to find a better spot still, and this is about as clear. I mean, there's like one tree right here, and north is that way. If it still wants me to find a better spot, this is gonna be a pretty picky item to use and not gonna be ideal for like the overland situations where you're in the woods. You really need like a wide open sky seemingly to use this. So I'm not sure what the solution is. Maybe I'll back up a little bit and see what happens. Still having trouble getting this thing to have good visibility. So Steve here, who I just met, was telling me he was just in Florida hanging out with the Hanks. Hanging with the Hanks.
There you go.
And so he's gonna let us put it up on his roof to see if we get good visibility. It's very particular about what it's seeing. Those trees right there, even though it's gonna be pointing sort of up and over, that's still enough of an obstruction. So we're gonna throw it up on the roof and see if that gets us over.
Ready?
And if that works or not. Yep, go for it.
Don't let me fall.
I won't let you fall.
You gotta hold it right.
I'll hold you. All right, so we are up here now. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna have a little email to Elon. Let's see. Okay, so we finally got that thing set up, and I'll be honest, the setup process wasn't terribly intuitive. The instruction cards that came with the Starlink was one big thing, and it just said like step 1, step 2, step 3. It's basically like hook up the wires, plug it in, and it does the rest. I had to go in, and then when I went into the app, it asked me to connect to Starlink so that it could find the router and you could do some setup or whatever. But then it was telling me I had an error because I had to log into my account through the app. So I had to go off of the Starlink back to some other Wi-Fi source or data or whatever to be able to log into my account. Once it verified that that was logged in, then I had to reconnect to Starlink, and it had to verify the account, and then it was able to start doing other stuff. Then I had these obstruction issues, as you saw, trying to get clear of the trees and all that kind of stuff. And then the super awesome guy next door, Steve, thank you so much for helping me kind of like figure out what we should do with this. He's a super IT tech guru, does a lot of military stuff, so has a high level of knowledge of how all this works. And so anyways, we ended up putting it on the roof of his RV to get a better, clearer view of the sky without these trees obstructing it. And that got us to finally connect. And then after that, we pulled it down off the roof and I put it back in front of my RV, and it maintained a connection and it was fine. So I also don't know if we were just being impatient, because there was a period of time where it just said searching. And had I been a little bit more patient, maybe it would have connected initially where it was out here in front of the RV. But maybe it was putting it up on Steve's roof that really helped it to connect. I don't really know. I will continue to test this. And speaking of testing, let's see how this thing performs. Okay, so now that we got the satellite out there, it's got a signal. It's saying it's good here. It's showing me that I am online. And I have seen it fluctuate a little bit online and then offline for like 2 seconds and then back online. But now that it's had a secure connection for a while, I haven't seen it do that. So let's go ahead and do a speed test. Oh, dang. 106, 108, 110. So it's hanging out about 100 megabytes a second download, and upload is currently about 15 meg. That's fast. That's ripping for all right, so there it is. 101 megabytes download, 13 megabits upload. Megabits, not megabytes, I believe. Is that right? Megabits? Anyways, 100 download, 13 upload. That's pretty good. Now, I was able to link this to the WineGuard Air 360. I've got the WineGuard, what do they call that? It's the access point, you know, the Wi-Fi access point that goes up inside the RV. I've got that hooked up, and I linked it to Starlink, and my laptop here is running off of the WineGuard in the RV, which is what all the TVs are connected to and all that kind of stuff. So I can go in here and I can just tell it to look for the Starlink, and then it'll rebroadcast that there. So let's do a speed test here and see what we get. Interesting. Okay, so it's a lot slower. I mean, obviously you got several Wi-Fi connections before it gets to my computer, and that's gonna obviously slow things down. So I had 3.9 download and 6.47 upload. So it didn't affect the upload speed as much, but the download was dramatically reduced by going Wi-Fi from the Starlink to the router, and then the router to this. So if I'm gonna be doing any heavy work from the computer, I think I would probably just connect directly to the Starlink. For the TVs and stuff, for the kids to iPads, whatever, I think they could go, you know, their normal connection to the RV, and that speed will be just fine. But that's been my experience so far. I kind of want to test this one more time and see how consistent it is. Big difference. Way slower this time. So 24 down, and it's hanging out about 6, 7, 5 up. Big difference from 101. So to summarize this, is Starlink any good or is it worth it? I think the answer is, I don't really know yet. There's a lot of people who are looking at Starlink as an option for overlanding, and I think that that totally could work if you are in an area that has a clear view of the sky. I will likely, it's really small, it packs up really small. I will likely put this thing in like a Pelican case or something and throw it in the back of the Land Cruiser when I take trips, because I have an e-commerce online business. Like, I always am working. I have to be connected to the internet usually. Now, if I'm just doing a weekend trip, I'm probably not gonna worry about it. But if I wanna do a 5, 7, 10-day trip, I'm probably bringing this thing with me. And then you might still have to drive to a location with a clear sky to accomplish whatever the task is for the day or whatever you needed to use the internet for. As far as the RV goes, I think it's gonna be a really good backup source. I think I'll probably likely try to primarily use whatever Wi-Fi the RV park has. And if it sucks, I might use Starlink as a backup. There's areas I know that it's like supported and not supported, so that's gonna play a factor too. So we'll see how it goes. The other problem I was trying to solve for to see if Starlink was going to help was that camera situation. So, you know, I remember I've got this Nest camera and it wouldn't connect through the router all the way to the internet because of the park's Wi-Fi and firewall settings or something like that. So I'm glad to report that it now connects to the internet and I can monitor this camera from my phone from wherever, so I can keep an eye on the dog. I also have that Waggle device that has the temperature and power monitor system, so if I get an alert that the temperature is up or something's going on, I can easily check in on the dog at that point and kind of see, make sure everything's okay, or at least keep an eye on him as I make my way back to the camper. If you guys want to follow along and see this thing in use and how we're using it, I've got another channel that we started. It's called the Brody Bunch. It's more of like the RV trips and that sort of thing. I'm going to try to keep that off of this main channel here. So if you want to follow along, I will put a link to that channel down in the description below. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful and it answered some of your questions. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.